So for me, I was born and raised in China. And around like 13 years ago, I went to Delaware for my US education. After that, I got a job in one of the big four CPA firm, PricewaterhouseCoopers. And I was in the big four firms for around like 9 years. And so I became a senior manager. After that, I joined MPOWER. So really enjoyed my journey with the company so far. Happy to see you all.
Awesome. Thanks, Mario. So Ron, same question.
Yeah, so I'm not as experienced as Mario. So I came to the US in 2015. I came to do my master's here, and Empower is actually my first job after I graduated from my master's, and it's been great so far. I really like the company. I really like what we are trying to do, and hopefully, the most important thing is we help you guys avoid problems that we actually had to face when we came to the US for the first time. So yeah, glad to be here and hope I can answer all your questions today.
I have full confidence that you will. Let me just see if we have the poll answered. Yeah, so you have about 5 more seconds to put your answers in the poll that we sent out, and then I'm going to end it and share the results. Okay, that was probably more than 5 seconds. Here we go, end the poll. So I'm sharing the results with everyone. It looks like we have a lot of people from Africa. That's awesome. Also, I see East Asia and Southeast Asia and South Asia represented, as well as some other areas of the world. It looks like most of you, at 60%, have been accepted in the study. Congratulations. It also looks like we have about 30% that are thinking about studying or have applied and are still waiting to hear back. And then last, there are about 9% that are currently enrolled. In terms of degrees, I see 75% are master's students with 13% as MBA. So that's a lot of graduate students. Welcome. And then we have a few PhD and a few bachelors here as well. Majors, and a good mix. We have 46% STEM, 23% business and management, and then some arts and literature as well, and other. Last but not least, this is great. 68% have applied for an MPOWER loan, and 32% have not. So we'll keep that in mind as we answer our questions today. Great. So first topic, Mario, I'm sure everyone here would have heard about our great interest rate promotion we're running. It is 2% off your interest for the life of your loan, and you just need to apply by April 30th, which is incredible. Can you tell us just a little bit more about the discount and what this means for our students?
Sure, I'm more than happy to, Claire. MPOWER is offering a time-limited low interest rate to reward all the international students planning ahead early for their studies. And also with this discount, most of our applicants will receive a interest rate will start around 9%. But also will fall to 8.49% after you take all the advantages of the interest discounts reduction we have. And also why we are doing that is we really, after the last couple months, after we also years, so we have been around for 7 or 8 years. So we observed, based on all the data we have, we saw that really the early planners are the high achievers. And we want to take this campaign to reward the early planners to really make a win-win for both MPOWER and also every one of you on the webcast. And also we want to really encourage all of you to earn early planners to lock your low interest rate now. Because I think I'm a finance guy, so I can talk to that a little bit more because our interest rate is locked. Meaning you don't have to worry about the rising interest rate in the future, especially now with this crazy, rising interest trend in the whole world. It's very possible that, say, if you have a variable interest contract with someone, and now you might get a very similar interest plan like ours for now. But to keep going forward, it might be possible we will pay it 1, 2, or 3, 4 more % of interest down the road, and you have zero control if you do the variable interest rate. And for us, what we really do is we are really taking us at risk for exposing us to the interest inflation risk, not you guys. So that's why we are very proud of our fixed interest product right here.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing that, Mario. So anyone that has known MPOWER for a bit might realize that we had this promotion and we extended it a month. Why are we extending it?
Yeah, it's also based on the data and also based on the feedback we got from every one of you. So we heard from many of you guys that the admissions this year, maybe due to the COVID backlog or whatever reason, has been delayed for many folks this year. So we decided to extend our promotion for one more month so that the people who are planning ahead can benefit from that.
Great. And so who is eligible for this promotion?
The eligibility is very easy. It's like if you are a international student, and also the school you are applying for is in our school list, which is readily available on our website. And a third thing is you have to apply for a future semester, meaning it has to be either the summer 2022 or later. And then the last one is, as Claire said, you got to complete and submit your online application no later than 4/30th, 2022. That's all.
And then I think our chat moderator might be able to share our eligibility form for anyone that wants to quickly check to see if they're eligible. It takes about 60 seconds. And he can also share our school list if you want to see if your program is one of our 400 accepted schools. And so Mario, last question before I move on to Ron to talk a bit more about our application. Why is MPOWER the best product for international students seeking to study abroad?
Yeah, there are multiple reasons. First of all, as I said, we are fixed rate, especially now. That's a very, very big plus for you guys. And the second, we are like no cosigner, no collateral, and no existing credit history required lender, which is also very unique. And then earlier this year, we raised our limit to 100,000, and that really can use to fund up your 100% of your school expense, including tuition, meal plans, or health insurance in the school, or et cetera, et cetera. And also we help you to do the free credit building in the States. As you know, it's very important to have a credit in the US. Also, we have a program called Path to Success because we value you as our investment and we want you to successful in the job market. So we provide like the one-on-one mock interview, review your resume and all this stuff to help you to be successful in the job hunting experience. And I think also it's cheaper if you are doing this now, before the end of the month. And those are so many reasons, why we are so good for the international student communities.
Awesome. And I see we have about 50 more people that have joined in the last few minutes. Just to reiterate, this session is talking about our application process and also going through some of the nuances of our interest rate discount. If you apply by April 30th, you could reduce your interest payments by up to $20,000 over the lifetime of your loan, which is an amazing, amazing offer. So moving on to Ron and our application as our lead underwriter, I'm sure this is your favorite topic to chat through. Can you tell everyone on the call what the steps or break down the steps to our application for them?
Yeah, sure. So it's going to be pretty similar to what you're used to when you're applying for admission or to apply to get your visa. We ask pretty similar questions. So it's going to be something about your education background, like where you went to school, which school you got admitted into, things like that. The second thing would be if you have any outstanding debt, that kind of stuff. The third one would be, do you have any work experience? What kind of work experience do you have? And listing out all that. And I think that's pretty much it. Those are the 3 or 4 steps to our application process. And yeah, so all the information that you need, that you applied to school with, your GPA, everything like that, you should have that information. And that's all you need to fill out your MPOWER online application.
Great. And, I think there is actually 2/3 of the people here have submitted an application, or at least in the process, which is awesome. Can you talk just a smidge about the documents we ask for and what the mindset is behind asking for them?
Yeah, sure thing. So all the documents that you see that we request from you are actually just to verify the information that you entered in your application. So if you submit anything that says, okay, I'm going to school here, I'm going this program, we just need a document that proves that's exactly what you're doing, and that's what you need to provide to us. And there can be a bunch of different documents based on like what answers you selected in your application. All we are trying to do as Empower is trying to verify the documents to the information you mentioned in your application. That's pretty much it.
Got it. So you're basically what they put in the application, you're just matching that with the document and kind of proving it.
Yep, that's it.
Awesome. So we get a lot of questions about timelines. I think high achieving students are very time sensitive. Can you talk a little bit about how long it takes to get your loan application approved and how early you should apply for a loan?
Yeah. So in a general sense, I would say the earlier the better. It gives you time to get the loan approved. It gives us time to like work on it and get everything done. And that you have a lot of time before you actually go to school. Everything's already set up so that when you go to school, there's nothing on your mind to worry about. You can just go there. Your loan's already paid out, and everything's good to go. So, but in general, let me go back to that. In general, so once you apply, it may take around 5 to 10 business days to get back to like get an answer from us. That's if everything goes smooth. We have all your information. All the information that you mentioned matches the documents that you sent over. And say in 5 to 10 days after that, you'll get your loan approval, and that's it. But the issues come in where some of the information doesn't match or anything of that sort, and then there may be a little back and forth, and those times it may take much longer to actually get the loan offer out to you guys. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a heads up about that. But if everything's smooth and everything matches, probably 5 to 10 business days you should hear back from us.
Awesome. And so I know one of the most popular questions or frequent questions we get is actually about GPA because it's done differently around the world. Can you talk a little bit about what GPA you're looking for in the application or what system we use?
Yeah, the system we use is the US scale, which is based on the 4.0 scale of rating of GPAs. I know Canada, some of them have a 10 scale GPA, some of them have a 100% GPA, but we usually convert everything to a 4.0 GPA, which is the US standard scale, and that's the scale that we use. Some advice that I have for you guys: if you guys want to convert your own GPA to the 4.0 scale, there are online resources. You can just Google it, and it should give you a online converter that'll convert your home country GPA or like whatever GPA you're trying to convert to the US scale.
Awesome. So 2 more questions, and then we're going to move it on to just the free Q&A based on the questions we received from everyone who's joined us today. Quick reminder, if you're new to this session, post your questions in the Q&A field anytime. Ask as many as you want. Either our chat moderators will jump in or we'll answer your question live. But please go ahead and start putting your questions there if you haven't already. So Ron, what happens after my application gets approved?
Okay, that's an interesting question. So once your application gets approved, we send out the approval letter to you guys, and then you have to sign it and send it back to us saying that, okay, it's done, like your loan is finally approved, and you accept the loan offer that we give you. After that, this can happen like even months before you're actually going to school, or like even months before you're actually in the US. So the next step that happens after that is we actually contact your school to like verify if you're actually going to school there, what program you're studying, and the school actually tells us, okay, this person is coming here, they're studying this degree, they're going to graduate on this date. They share all that information with us, and that whole process is called the certification process. And after we get that information, that's when we know that you're actually going to school. We send you another loan offer letter, which is like the final loan offer. And once you actually go to school, we actually send out your funds to the school or to you, wherever the school tells us to send the funds.
Great. So final question, Ron, what are the most common mistakes you see on the application and how can our attendees avoid them?
Yeah, sure. So some of the common mistakes that I've seen are when you actually start filling in your application, we ask when your program is starting and when you're going to graduate from that program. I've seen like people mix up those 2 dates. So just make sure like you're graduating after you actually start the program and not the other way around. That's one. The second thing is the major sometimes selected is wrong, and that can be an issue because the majors that we have on the Empower website are may not exactly match what your school has. on their admission letter. So one piece of advice that I have there is try to find the most common match that you can. The example that I can give you is like for data science, we don't have like a drop down that says actual data science on it. So if your admission letter says data science, try to find something that's close enough to it, like say data modeling or something like that, and that'll work out fine. Because when we actually do the verification with your documents internally, we know that okay, you said data science and your admission letter says data modeling, and we can kind of match those two together. So it should all be okay. And the last one that I see most common is if you say you have a certain amount of funding that you're going to use toward your education, the bank statements that you submit to us needs to match that amount, because otherwise basically the information you gave us doesn't match the documents, and then there may be a delay in approving your loan application.
Great. So we're going to pivot over to the live Q&A, but before I jump in, I'm going to give our chat moderators a few minutes to send me some questions. Mario, do you mind sharing just a little bit more about your international student journey? I might have skipped that at the beginning. Yeah.
Of course. So really, like when I joined the University of Delaware, that's a reason why I joined MPOWER eventually. So I really like saw, some people who, even before I came to the States, I saw people who are smarter, look harder than me, but they just didn't know they had option to study in the States. Or I saw people who initially use their family money, but then something financially happened to the family, but then they just have to drop out. But back then, I think I went to school around 2009, and I think there was no option for international students to take a loan with like no cosigner or not being a citizen. That was very hard. So with MPOWER, I really glad to see what we are doing, and that's really also why after I saw all of the things I saw firsthand, and I want to just join this mission to help the fellow international students like me, like 10 years ago. So,
Ron, similar question. Can you tell us just a little bit more about your journey as an international student?
Yeah, sure. So I came in 2015. Everything was really new when I came to the US. Was not expecting anything. Like I had nothing prepared in my mind of how something is going to be. So that's one. But the whole journey was very different compared to like my previous education in India. Like everything's more open. You can choose what classes you want to go to, which you actually couldn't do in India. So that was very refreshing for me. And I was also, so that was one thing. The second thing is just enjoy your time when you're in the US. So like try to make a lot of friends, do things like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Great. So moving on to the questions, we've gotten a lot of great questions from our attendees. There's a lot about I-20s, and do you need an I-20 to apply for an MPOWER loan? Ram, maybe you can jump in about this. How do I-20s impact the application?
Definitely. So the I-20s actually come into the last stage of your application. So you can actually submit your MPOWER loan application without having an I-20, and it's not a document that we need to give you. It's a document that we need to give you a final loan offer, but we also help you get the I-20. We give you a support letter that you can share with your school, and they will actually give you your I-20. So if you can actually submit your loan application without that, and we'll help you get the document when the time comes.
There's a few similar questions about, do I need my visa before applying? You kind of answered that, but could you just reiterate, do you need a visa?
Sure. It's the same thing. I-20s and visas, like first you get the I-20 and then you get your visa. That's how it kind of works. So if we don't need your I-20, we do not need your visa. We don't need any like official immigration documents there. All we need is a copy of your passport, I think, or like a driver's license, something local that you have, before you can actually submit your application. But no immigration documents are required at the initial stage when you submit your application.
And so Mario or Ron, I think both of you could answer this one, up to you. When do you start paying back your MPOWER loan? Someone says they've heard there's no grace period, which is actually incorrect.
Yeah, I can take this one. So for the loan repayment, so we do have a grace period, which so we have two phases of paying back. The phase one is just while you are in school, you only need to pay back the interest part, which is very low. And plus, you have a 6 months of grace period after your graduation. You can still just doing the interest only without having to pay the full payment, which means the interest plus the principal payments for the 120 months post your graduation. But also for the interest payment, you only need to pay that like after the 45 days from the disbursement. And that's how the interest payment work. But in your contract, you will see a very detailed, see what is your principal and how the payment is calculated. So it's all very clear laid out there. And also we get audited by Deloitte, one of the big four firm. So don't worry about our financial information here. And I'm a CPA, so.
Mario approved. That's awesome. So similar question, how early can I begin the process of securing the loan? How early can I apply?
Yeah, I can take that. So I think we allow you to apply even like a year in advance before your program starts. So if you're starting in fall 2023, which is next year, you can actually probably start sending in your application 2 months from now. So if you're applying anytime for next year's loans, you can actually start right now. So there's no real time, yeah.
And you don't need to be accepted in order to apply. As long as you've applied to school, you can get in the loan process with us, which is great. So I have some questions here about the NOVA credit check. What is it? Does it impact students? Ron, maybe this is a question for you again. Can you talk a little bit more about NOVA credit and where it is in our application and what it does?
Sure. So Nova Credit is actually a third party that we use, and they actually connect with your home country's credit bureau. It can be any country in the world, and they actually contact them and can give us like a extract of your credit history in your home country. So let me give you an example of India. So in India, Nova will probably tie up with CRIF or one of the other credit bureaus. They use your name, date of birth, things like that to get your credit file and your credit history and then share that information with us. The NOVA dashboard actually comes in as part of the application. I think it's step 5 or step 6. At the last stage after you submit all your information. It's the last thing that you have to do on the MPOWER website. And what NOVA basically does is we look at some of your past credit history. If there's no credit history, it's not a problem. Only if there are delinquencies or things like that on your credit history, that's when NOVA comes into the picture. But if everything looks good, NOVA should be just like one of those check boxes that go through on the application.
Great. So does MPOWER disperse the loan directly to the bank accounts of students? We do not. Mario, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, we do not. Just to help you better focus on your study, we want you to not have to deal with all the money transfer those headaches. So what we do is we disperse the money to the school. And the school will verify, based on their experience, how much the tuition is needed. And they will handle everything, and you need to focus on your study and just prepare for whatever going to happen in the next step in your life.
So you mentioned tuition just there, Mario. What else can the loan be used for?
Oh, it's way beyond tuition. It's also going to have the living cost, including your regular, your rent or your healthcare, your phone expense. So because also the textbook, etc. Because really, we know that when you live in the States, you pay more than just tuition. So for the disbursement we make, they are intended to cover both the living cost plus the tuition.
Great. And so here's one for Ron. My loan has been conditionally approved, but I need an I-20. How will MPOWER help me with a support letter to obtain an I-20? Maybe you can talk a bit more about that process and what we do with support letters, Ron.
Yeah, definitely. I think in your case, since you actually have a conditional offer, that's not the actual loan application. So after you get the conditional offer, you just have to submit your documents that matches the information in your application. That's when we actually do a review. And then if everything looks good, if everything works out, you'll get a support letter from us, which you can use the school to get your actual I-20. And once you get that, you can submit that to us. So I hope that answers that question.
So who can get in a support letter at MPOWER? throw?
Yeah. So the way it works is once you get your conditional offer, you submit all your documents. Then there's an underwriting that happens. Like someone on the team will actually go through, verify all the information. And then after that, we will send out a support letter to you. That's how you know your loan is actually finally approved. You'll either get a support letter from us or you'll get a letter which says your loan has not been approved.
And so, Mario, I'm switching to you. There's several questions about the interest rate discount, which is awesome. So I have submitted my loan application, but it hasn't been approved yet. Will I get my interest rate discount still, even if it's approved later?
Yes. Through letter word, yes. So as long as you submit your application before the deadline, yeah, you are good to go. No more work needed.
And I have someone saying very similarly, if I've already submitted a loan application, can I get the additional 2% rate?
Yeah. So still, why yes, yes.
Awesome. Yeah, simple answers. Yes, absolutely. This person is asking, do I need to submit all my documents by April 30th to be eligible?
So yeah, I would say this gonna really help your application, because when you submit your application, you want to submit as many docs as you can to help accelerate the process. But also say, if you have one or two files you are still gathering, and I would recommend you to just to submit it at first, and then later your customer relationship person will reach out to say, hey, you still need this ABC file to finish your application. But once you click submit, your information will be locked in there and your date will be locked. So we know that, okay, you hit the date and you hit the discount.
Yeah, and just to add to that, if you submit the application without docs, but you completely submit it, as long as it's by April 30th, we will give you the discount if you're approved. So just remember the submit button is the important part.
That's the key. That's the key.
Ooh, this is a good one. I noticed I made a mistake in my application that's already submitted. What do I do? Ron, what does this person do?
Yeah, I can take that. So you'll have to just send an email to empower.me@empowerfinancing.com. That'll actually send an email to your relationship manager, and that person will be able to help you forward or correct any information that you need to change on your application.
And actually, a chat moderator, Sagar, I can call him by name. Can you post the link to the contact us form on our website? You can just fill in this contact us form if you need to reach your relationship manager about anything, need to change your application, or just need anything at all. But that's the fastest way to get your relationship manager. Just say what the reason is, and we'll go ahead and respond to you as soon as possible. Let's see what else. Cool. So does my credit score or credit history matter in getting a loan? Ron, maybe as the underwriter.
Yeah, I can take that. No, your credit score really does not matter. We accept anyone with any credit score and we give everyone loans. So the credit score really does not matter in getting a loan decision from us.
And these are some follow-up questions that are similar to ones we've already covered, but maybe I'll try it from a different angle. So I need to pay for my living expenses. How do I get that money?
Go ahead.
You can go.
Okay. So for living expenses, like Mario mentioned, we actually disburse the funds to your school. Your school may take out some funds. Let me use numbers for this example. So say your tuition is around $25,000, your approved loan is for $40,000, and that includes tuition and living expenses. So the way it works is the school will certify that amount. We transfer $40,000 to the school. They'll take out $25,000 towards the tuition, and the remaining $15,000 that is left is actually transferred to your student account at your school, and you can either withdraw that funds for cash or it depends on like how the school lets you withdraw it. So it'll be part of your school account. You just have to go and tell them, okay, I need to withdraw this. They maybe give you a check. They may transfer it to your bank account. I'm not really sure. It depends on each school individually, how you get the funds out.
Yeah, school by school. So we have seen different school process that in different ways.
So I see some questions about funding gaps. And so Ron, I'm just going back to you. If someone doesn't have enough money and there's a gap, what do you advise on the application, on that funding page?
Yeah. So on the funding page, the way we actually intend it to work is you can just show us how much funding you have. If there's a gap, you can still just submit your application and you'll actually get to know your loan decision after that, after it's been reviewed by the team. But the funding gap is, if there's no funding gap, it probably gets a little confusing to kind of understand because you need to fill in that gap. But the ideal solution for that would be just try to put in the maximum amount of funding that you can. And if there's a gap, it's still okay. You can just submit your application and you'll know the decision after that.
And we do loans up to 50K per pay period or up to 100K over the lifetime of the loan. So you can always come back and ask for more if you didn't use up all of your credits. We'll fund up to 100% of tuition. So there isn't like a 90% or a limit for what we're funding. We just use a whole dollar value. And Mario, can students pay back their loans early?
Oh, yes. And first you can. And the second, there will be no penalty on that. So that means if you just need a loan to, just bridge for like 2 or 3 months, yeah, you can still do that. You just, get a loan and then do your operations. Then, yeah, you can just pay it at any time you want. And also, I'm sure everyone knows it, but just want to give a quick reminder. So our loan calc is very dynamic. So say if you have 50,000 initially, and then you just got some more financial capability, like maybe 20K more, so you can just pay back 20K, and then your interest will be only calculated based on your reduced balance. So it's not like, you borrowed X amount, and it's gonna be that much to calculate your interest forever. No. So the more you pay, the less interest you will be calculated and pay. So,
Mario, maybe this is a good one for you. What is the difference between simple interest and the APR on the loan docs on our website?
Yeah, sure. So the APR is some like government required disclosure we need to make on the website. It's a annualized simulated rate there. But I think if you take one step back, you can do a very simple calc because it's really just that simple. You will see your total on your loan contract, and that times your interest rate divided by like 12 months, and that will be just that simple. There's no like hidden stuff there. And also the reason why it's dynamic is like if you pay, say, on the day 10th of the month for X portion of your loan, then your payment will be reduced also. So it's a very, based on how much you pay, and it's gonna be like changed every month. So I think I would focus on the interest rate more and just do your own planning. And that's a very, simple calculation for everyone to understand.
And maybe our chat moderator can post a link to our loan payment calculator on our website, so you can actually see, what your payment will be in school and out of school. And then, so let's say a student runs into financial trouble in school, or they just don't have enough for that grace period payment. Ron, what can we do for that student if they need help?
Yeah, so for that one, there are actually multiple options and it depends on a case-by-case basis. It's really tailored to each student specifically. So the recommendation I have there is please reach out to your relationship manager or your servicing team person and they'll be able to tailor make recommendations for you based on your personal situation and based on the loan amount and everything. They'll actually be able to help you out much better that way. Because each answer is different. It's not a one size fits all answer. It's really tailor-made specifically for your situation.
And I think the real message is communicate with us. Don't let your first payment get missed. Let us know. We will work with you. We are here to help international students, not to penalize you. So we want to work with you. We just need to know that you need a different option. So please reach out, and we'll come up with the best thing possible, so you're not struggling in school. So here's another question. What can I apply if my application was previously declined? Ron, I think this is back to you.
Yeah, so right now I think we have a 90-day rule where you cannot submit another application. However, if you really think there's a reason that your loan was declined, you can always reach out to your relationship manager. They'll actually be able to tell you if it's eligible for an appeal or if not. So I would say just reach out to us and we'll be able to help you out further there as well.
Great. And if you are struggling to figure out which email address you need, you can always use a contact us form on our website to reach out to your relationship manager and just talk a little bit more about your case there. And then, Ron, the natural follow-up question is, what are the possible reasons for my loan to be declined?
Yeah, sure. There are actually multiple different reasons that can be there. So one is say your academic performances are not really good. That's one reason. Say do you have delinquencies or bankruptcies on your credit report? So that's another reason. Another one would be if your loan is if you're more than 2 years away from graduation, we don't give loans to students who are more than 2 years away from their graduation date. Then there's one for unsustainable debt. Basically, that one means you don't. Basically, the program is kind of too expensive, and we don't think your projected income would be able to let you pay back that loan to us. So that's one reason. And another one is if you're actually requesting MPOWER for more than $100,000, which we cannot loan to you, that would be another reason for decline. So I think those are the major reasons for decline that we have.
Great. And I see we have more people joining the webinar, which is always great. For those that are new, we're talking about some of the nuances of our application here with Ron, our underwriting expert. And then we're also talking about our interest rate discount, 2% off your interest rate if you apply by April 30th. And a different way of thinking about that is you can save up to $20,000 in interest payments if you apply by April 30th. And I think something really interesting is that the 2% discount or promotion running now, it's not the only way you can lower your interest rate. We actually have 3 other ways that are permanent, we always offer, that you can also use to lower your interest rate. And so, Mario, do you mind talking a little bit about the 3 ways you can lower your interest rate permanently or anytime?
Of course. Yeah, maybe I should have talked more about that in the intro part. So as Claire said, you have that 2% now promotion discount. But then you down the road, there are 3 separate 0.5% discount combining to 1.5% discount you can take. They are as below, like one is if you set up your automated payment, then yeah, you just instantly subject to this 0.5% discount. And then after you make 6 months of payments successfully, then you will get another 0.5% discount on the interest. And the third one, the final one, is once you graduated, and you will get the third and final 0.5 interest discount on that based on your either graduation diploma or a letter of the employment verification. I think that's also very important because your whole your principal payment starts 6 months after the graduation. So that one can also help for your future payment. So 1.5 in total down the road and 2% like right now if you submit before 30th.
So that's 3.5% off your interest rate if you apply by April 30th, which is awesome. So I see some people asking about funding gaps, and we covered that earlier, but a few other options. Scholarships are a big one if you see a funding gap. MPOWER actually also offers exclusive scholarships just for international students. There are 4 on our website. We launch them repeatedly. There's actually one that is monthly. So you have a chance every month to get an MPOWER scholarship. Maybe our chat moderator can share a link to MPOWER's international student scholarships in the chat. We also offer a referral program if you want to make a little money on the side. Anyone can refer anyone, and it's a pretty cool program. If I wanted to refer Ron, I could say, hey, Ron, put my email address in the application when you apply. When Ron is approved, Ron gets $100. When he submits all of his docs, I get $300. And this isn't a gift card typically that you can choose how it's used, but you can refer as many people as you want to MPOWER. So I don't know of anyone else that offers so much money for students, but we've learned that students know other students that need help. And so this is our way of offering something back to students. But back to our questions. I have someone asking about what salary we use. I think, Ron, based on a previous answer you have. When we do loan applications, are you looking at someone's previous salary or post earnings or post degree earnings for our loan application?
Yeah, all our thinking is forward based, so we don't really look at your past salary. It's more towards like after your degree, like what salary you're going to earn, things like that. So that's what we look at. It's all future based looking.
Great. Just try not to just reading some questions and try not to offer ones that we've previously answered. How do I make faster payments? Well, Mario, how do you make faster payments?
It's just the one word, flexible, right? You can pay as much as you want to based on your financial ability. You can pay, say you are only required paying the interest maybe like $89 per month, but you are free to pay like $1,000 per month to further bring down your principal, right? I think one big part of college is to really learn how to, be like financially responsible for your future. So I think once you do the planning, I think that if you want to pay more, yes. And once you pay more, your balance will be actively reflected on the new payment and you will have a lower interest. But we are not asking you to pay more also. So really up to based on your own planning, based on your financial situation.
Ron, I have a two-part question for you. How long does it take to get my documents verified? And how do I get my application approved faster?
I guess both are interrelated. So, okay, let me split that up into. So let me answer the first part, and that will take care of the second part, I guess. So how long can it take for your documents to get verified? It really depends. So we have a timeline of between 5 to 10 business days right now. Because of the promotion, we have like a lot of volume that actually came through. So it's taking us a lot longer to go through all the applications, actually send out a decision to you guys. So that's one. But yeah, so the answer I have would be between 5 to 10 business days. And after all your documents are verified, that's how you actually know you actually got the loan offer. So as soon as all your documents are verified, that's when you actually get a loan decision, either an approval or a decline.
Great. And I don't know who my relationship manager is. How do I figure it out? I'll take this one. If you don't have an email in your inbox or you're struggling to find it, just go to our contact us form and say, I need my relationship manager for XYZ reason. We'll get back to you quickly and they will reach out. So if you want to contact us, just use our contact us form on our website and we'll do the rest. It's simple for you. And I think our chat moderator can probably post that. Similarly, someone asked, I submitted my app, my school starts in a few weeks. Can I escalate that? Same thing, go to that contact us form, talk about your case, and then we will escalate it on our side for you so you can get that information quickly. Am I eligible for an MPOWER loan? I'll also cover this one. I think our chat moderator can post that in our box. You can check your eligibility in 60 seconds. Typically, you just need to attend one of our supported schools. We have a list of 400 on our website that we think are the best schools for international students with the best outcomes as well for students. And then you also just need to be within 2 years of graduating by the time you need the loan. So you can apply early, but you need to be within 2 years of graduating for a program by the time you need the money. And so I know we're in our last 15 minutes. So if you haven't posted a question in the Q&A box yet, now is your time. Get your questions in so we can certainly cover them before the end of this session. So Mario, this might be one for you. I don't have a cosigner collateral. Can I apply for an MPOWER loan?
Yeah, and that's why we exist. So we are here to help people without any cosigner or collateral, because if you want to apply like 10 years ago, then yeah, the answer is no. But now with MPOWER there, yeah, it's very possible, and we can do this for sure. That's why we are here.
And so, Ron, I have another document question, very, very popular. I think people are quite curious about documents. What is the difference between proof of earnings and proof of income? And if maybe you can talk a little bit about the different document types that people might need.
Yeah. So proof of earnings and proof of income, I don't really think they're different. I think there'll be a supporting thing that you can upload or whatever you think it is, because I guess it's just different countries call it something differently. Some countries may call it proof of earnings, like how much you earn. Some may call it a salary, like what's your salary like. So I don't really think there's a difference. You can just upload whatever document that you have and think it fits there. If it's not correct, your relationship manager will reach out to you and tell you, okay, this is not what we're looking for. We're looking for this document. But uh, but yeah, in general, I think both of them are the same. You can upload either your salary letter uh, or like your recent appraisal letter, like if you got a promotion recently, whatever document you want, you can upload there. And let me go talk more about the document types right now. So we have different kind of types. One is for compliance reasons, so that's more like to getting to know you, like KYC kind of information. So that would be like your passport, address proofs, things like that. I think most people have a confusion with the funding documents. So let me talk a little bit about the funding documents. We actually accept all kinds of documents. So it can be bank statements for you, bank statements for your parents. If a third party is sponsoring you, say like an aunt, an uncle, family, friend, anything of that sort, they can also submit like their bank statements. If you're using a third party sponsor, we also need a bank statements, an ID from that sponsor, and also a sponsor support letter. I think I think there should be a link for that on your dashboard. You can just download that, have them fill that letter in, and then upload that letter to us. Uh, and for funding documents, let me talk a little bit more about some other kind of documents that we also accept. We accept brokerage documents. So, say you have investment accounts anywhere, your family has investment accounts, we can also accept those kind of documents. Your parents, if they're supporting you financially through their salary of where they're working, that's another document that you can kind of use to help fill that gap, and that you can submit to us, and we'll also take that into account. So yeah, there are multiple different documents that we actually do, and it's going to be hard to like get into each and every single document if this is acceptable and that's not acceptable. So the best answer there would be upload whatever you can, and if you have questions, your relationship manager will be able to help you out. And if you have questions, you can always reach out to them, and they'll be able to answer all your questions.
Great. And so I have someone asking if a screenshot of a document will work, or a photo of a document. Does that format work?
Yeah, definitely. As long as the document is valid, and by valid I mean it's pretty recent. We won't accept documents that are a year old, so it has to be 90 days within 90 days. And yeah, a screenshot. If we also accept screenshots of like online banking, so if you just log into your online banking account and you take a screenshot from that, that will also be acceptable.
Great. And then for anyone that joined new and missed our earlier answers, with documents, like Ron said, we're looking to prove that you are who you say you are, that the information in your application is correct. And then same thing for the funding part. Anything you claim in the application, you're just later proving it's real. That's it. And that's one of the main reasons we ask for documentation. And last 10 minutes, so I think we have time for a few more questions. I have someone asking about, I'm having trouble collecting my documents. Will I still be eligible for the interest rate promotion if I submit by April 30th? And actually, I'll cover that one. You don't need all your documents to apply for the interest rate promotion. You just need to submit your first application. So you still have time to collect documents. You just need to submit the initial application to be eligible. So the student worried about that, don't worry. You'll still be eligible. Ooh, Mario, what are the eligibility criteria for the interest rate promotion?
Of course. So you can find that on our website. Since we are having a live session now, so I'll just walk through that for you. So to be eligible for the promotion, you've got to A, you are an international student, and B, you are attending any of our almost 400 supported schools in the States or in Canada. And C, you have to apply for a future semester, meaning it has to be either summer 2022 or later. And the last one is you have to submit before the end of the month. That's it, A, B, C, D, 4 factors.
Awesome. And then if anyone wants to read these or wants to visually see them, this is also on our website. And I think our chat moderator can post our Get a Loan page so you can review these on yourself. We also have an FAQ online where you can kind of dig into this information too if you're someone that prefers reading. More questions. How long am I expected to pay back the loan? Can I cancel the loan? Mario, yeah.
So I can take that. So I think there are two questions. First, how long to pay back? So the payback is while you are in school, you only need to pay the interest. So the full payback period starting 6 months after your graduation, which is also our grace period. So 6 months after your graduation, then you start a full payment. It's scheduled for 10 years, so 120 months. But you are free to pay early. And we are very flexible, not like some other lender who would charge you a penalty for early because they want to get their interest, right? But for us, if you want to pay early, zero penalty. You can just do it. And the second question is, can I cancel or just want to rephrase this? I mean, cancel. I mean, the loan is out, right? You want to terminate the loan by paid early? As I said, yes, anytime you can pay. You can pay the loan full either while you are in school or after your graduation, any point. Yes, and no penalty for early payment.
Great.
Yeah, I want to elaborate actually a little bit on that answer. So, for example, like if you got a $50,000 loan and you only use $20,000 for the first year and you're assuming you'd use the remaining $30,000 for the second year, but say you got your family got $30,000 and you don't need to use the remaining $30,000 from MPOWER. The way it would actually work is you only pay interest on the $20,000 and not the total 50. So only what the amount of money that you take from MPOWER's interest is owed on that. Anything that you don't take from us, there's no interest owed. So I just want to also make that clear.
That's a very good point, Ron. Only the disbursed money, right? Say if we approve you for X amount, like 50K, well, the school said, this person, he only needs for 20. Yeah. So we won't charge you for the full approved one. We only charge you for the ones that we gave to you. So yeah, that's what we do.
Great. And so I think one of the things that makes us different, I see a question about this, is that we offer that past success program that you mentioned in the beginning about, we also want to help you in your career, financial, immigration, and with other aspects of being an international student studying abroad. Can one of you or maybe both of you talk about the past success program just a little bit more in a little bit more detail?
Yeah. So I think also not like other, say, mortgage or whatever company. I think we value our customer, as, to grow with us altogether. So what we do is we want to help you to be successful in the job market by giving you some mock interview and to get you ready for the real interview with employers. And also we offer things like, hey, how does my resume look? Right? Because you want to pass your first resume screen in the job hunting progress. So I think as an international student myself, back then, I found that I really needed those help. Like say, if someone could give me like a mock interview, I could have, wasted maybe 2 last interview for the real one, so I can be better prepared. So I think they are very valuable, and we want you to succeed in the job market in the States. And also BTW, I think now the job market is so hot. It is so hot and it's very popular. So I think it's a very good timing to study in the States and then just look for jobs. Ron, anything to add?
No, not really. You covered, I think, pretty much everything there. So.
Great. And there's, like I said, for many of my answers, there's also a page for that on our website. If you want to kind of learn more about the program, it has all the details about it. But if you become an MPOWER customer, you get access to past success. It's that simple. There's no application requirements to join. You just have to be an MPOWER customer. So I know we're in our last 4 minutes. For anyone that hasn't asked a question yet, put it in the Q&A box. We'll hang around for a few minutes and try to cover up some of the last questions in the Q&A field, but we are in our last few minutes. So, but in these last few minutes, Mario, maybe you can start. Do you have any advice for our future or current international students on this call?
Yeah, I would say just it's kind of cliche, but I would say be independent and be hardworking, and all your hard work will be paid off later down the road. Because I think for many, also when I was a international student, I can really tell that for people who use their family money to go to school, who use their own source of money, they have different motivation level. And I'm sure the 400 people on the call now, you are very motivated, and I want you to keep that motivation going, because as I can see in many of my peer students or other friends, really like the more the more you put effort in, and the more you will get a good results. But really come down to more details. Say if you are a like STEM major, right? Just make sure you are prepared for all those like coding, programming questions, and just be very prepared for the interview. And once you go to one, then yeah, bam, your life will be changed after one interview. So just be prepared. It will be paid off.
Hey, Ron, same question. What advice do you have for our future and current international students?
Yeah, some advice that I would have is, yeah, like Mario said, be ready, be prepared. It's going to be I think it's going to be a life-changing journey once you actually do it. Like there's so many new experiences that you actually get to experience, so many new things that you think that you would never have thought of you would ever do in your life, but somehow it actually works out. So yeah, just be open, just be ready to take everything on, and I think you guys will do great.
And so
I think overall, less time you spend on TikTok, and the more probability you will, get a job offer somewhere down the road.
Awesome. And so final round of questions. I have one specific one for each of you and then one general one for both of you. So Ron, can you reiterate the requirements or the steps of the application process? I see several questions asking for a reiteration of that.
Yeah, sure. So it's going to be pretty similar to what you used to apply to the school to get your admission. So we are going to ask you like your past, your work experience, your past educational experience, the kind of funding that you have, where you're going to school, things like that. And I also saw a couple of questions about test scores and everything. So if you have taken a test score, just enter that information. If you have not, there are answers that you can choose. You didn't have to take a test score to get this admission. You don't, it's not required, things like that. So pretty much whatever you use to apply to school, that's pretty much what we ask you on the application page.
Great. So Mario, a similar thing. Can you just reiterate a little bit more about our interest rate promotion for those that join late?
Yeah, so this promotion is only last for 6 more days to the end of the month, and once you submit your application on the website, you will be subject to the instant 2% interest discount, which can be very helpful down the road for your study and your payment process. So 2% is huge. So do that before the end of the month. Which
could equal up to $20,000 in interest rate payments. So everyone wants to pay less, I think. So that's a great offer. So last question for both of you. Why should students do an MPOWER loan? Why do you believe in MPOWER?
Sure, I can go first. Yeah.
I should have called on someone first.
Okay. So the reason I really believe in MPOWER is, so when I was going to school, I don't think MPOWER was, I think we may have just started, we may have given out one loan that year, but there was no other company that was kind of doing this really. So I had like a pretty hard time finding a loan, like a loan providing company. But after I got this job at MPOWER, it's been so nice. I've been able to help like so many international students actually go to school and fulfill their dreams. That is one reason. The second reason I actually prefer the MPOWER student loan is the credit history that we build in the US. When I go to the US, I didn't actually know this. Like credit history is very, very important. It's actually checked at every step of the process that you go through in life. So like every time you need a new apartment, they actually check your credit history. If you're applying for a new job, some jobs also check your credit history. So it's really important to have that credit history available in the US. And once you get it, you'll see it's been it makes life much easier. Like if you ever have to take a car loan or a mortgage or anything after that, if you have a good credit score, you'll be able to do that very, very easily. So that's another unique selling point that Empower has that I don't think any other company will be able to let you do.
Yeah, and I will add more from the finance perspective as I'm a finance guy. So I think one very key thing to think about is when you are finding a lender to work with, so credibility, trustworthy is very important. You don't want to have a very rough and new lender say, "Oh, we're gonna give you the loan," but the day before your tuition due, sorry guys, we're out of fund or whatever. For us, we have been around for 8 years. We are audited by the Big Four CPA firm. So I was in charge of the audit. So I think we are very clean financially and operationally, which is huge for when you want to deal with money. You want a company who's been in the industry for a while, 8 years like us. And also for us, in this rising interest rate environment, you want to do the fixed rate. And we, MPOWER, we are absorbing the risk for you for the rising interest rate. But so that's what we do. So we don't pass down this interest rate risk to our customer like you by doing the variable interest rate. And third is our limit now is 100K, can really cover most of the programs. And as I said earlier, no cosigner, no collateral. And plus the post-loan period, which we have the path to success to help your career. I think we have the full package here. And I think if you want to go with someone you can trust, which is us, I believe.
Yeah, I think something different about MPOWER is we care. You can tell from our product, our employees, everything they do. We're here to help you for a mission. It's really about just helping future international students and making the world a better place. But we care. And so I know we're out of time. We've held it over about 4 minutes. So good news, if you missed some of the details today, we'll send out a recording and a survey after this of this session. You can also see all of our previous live sessions on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. This one will be there as well. And then finally, feel free to write in on the Contact Us form and go to our events page. Later this week, we'll update it with the rest of the live sessions we're planning for the rest of our season. So if you like these live sessions, we'd love to hear your feedback. Write in, respond to our emails, or complete the survey. And we're excited to keep running these sessions. So Ron, Mario, thank you so much for the time today. And anyone still on the chat, we'll hang around for a few minutes, but otherwise, this is the end of the session. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.